up, dudes? Marvel the Kid once again coming to you again. How's everybody doing out there? Um, Next episode for comic reviews. How you guys doing? So what does the kid have for today? I got a few good. It was a good week. Once again, there are a couple books for Death in the Family. Both were really good. A lot of good stuff that were for equally for both the big two, and of course I got some independent for you guys as well. Um, Remember when I told you guys that Mr. Orpheus will be back? He wants to take one more day off. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So he'll be back next week, and I'll get into next week at the end of the vid. So let's kick it off with the review. So we're gonna kick it off with Valiant Comics. And like I said before, Valiant has made a very good comeback in my opinion. And let's kick it off with Dwayne Straczynski and Manuel Garcia's artwork for Deadshot. Bloodshot, excuse me. Bloodshot #5. Assault on Project Rising Spirit. Yeah. Dwayne Straczynski tells a very good story. And he pretty much, Bloodshot takes it to the people who created him. Basically, Project Rising Star. He takes it back home, takes the fight to them. Instead of them coming after him, he goes after them. And that's pretty much the basis of this story, in a sense. But it was still well told. Mr. Straczynski still does a very good job. Mr. Garcia's artwork was still superb as well. And I've been saying this Bloodshot has been stellar every issue. Next up, we go from Valiant to Dynamite. Lord of the Jungle, #9. Nelson is still doing a very good job of the retelling of Tarzan, and Castro's artwork, superb. So as we left off in issue 8, Tarzan has left America. He's left behind his love of his life, Jane, and he's heading back home, back to the jungle, back to Africa. And he's on this cruise ship that's heading to there. And unfortunately, he runs into some trouble, in a sense. It seems like on this boat that he recognizes somebody is trying to attack this very rich woman, and he intervenes. Later on, he finds out, but one of his friends that he saved in the jungle, who returned back to France, it's a world-renowned assassin from Russia, known as, oh my God, what is his name? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name. Because he was also a character in the book, the original book, I believe. What's his name? Rokov. Novavix Rokov. And he's not only that, they're about to go, and he's on a quest as well to look for the mystical city of Opar. So Tarzan tells, I'll help you find Rokov. And so that's where it's going to lead back to the jungle. Because that's probably where Opar is, in the jungles of Africa. So, but still, it's been a fun ride. I've been enjoying Lord of the Jungle. Like I said, Dynamite knows how to reinvent the pulp characters, and Tarzan is one of the most famous pulp characters, probably one of the first. And they're just doing a very good job with this story. I know some people are not really liking it, or like started off slow and everything like that, but it's been picking up. But in my opinion, it's been stellar all around. All right. So we move on to Marvel, and the first book I'm going to talk about from Marvel now, Brian Michael Bendis and Stuart Immonen. All New X-Men #1. How did I like this? Very good for the first start. Very good. I was very, very much liked what I saw from this. I read it, and I was like, all right. So let me give you a little bit of basis of what's going on. All right. We see a few new mutants in this. There's a mutant from Australia who is able to, has the control over time and space. Cyclops, Magneto, Emma, they don't show how the bitch gets out of prison. But I suspect it had something to do with Magic. She probably just teleported in there and took her out. Whatever. I can care less about her. But we see that Cyclops is on this revolution in a sense of he's gonna get all these new mutants and get them to safety and certain like that. However, in the eyes of Kitty, Storm, Beast, and Bobby, Iceman, by doing this, it's bringing the federal government on them as well. And that's what Kitty said. Bobby's taking this even worse than anybody because, you know, Bobby, Hank, Scott, and all of them, they grew up together. They're the first. They're the originals. So still Bobby looks at this being like, look, Cyclops is my friend. Like, but I can't let him do this. I can't allow that. Storm says no because it's going to cause, she doesn't want a mutant civil war. She doesn't want that. But she is angry. And she's so angry that she starts causing thunderstorms. And you see Bobby putting up an ice umbrella. Like, look, before you cause a tornado, can you calm it down a little bit? And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. But in the meantime, we see Beast is going through some changes again. It seems that Beast is about to mutate again, another mutation, and I'm gonna spoil this for you guys. It seems like it's worse than ever because he feels that it's gonna kill him. It'll rupture his heart. He doesn't know if his heart can take it. But by realizing that the X-Men can't get involved in this, we see one X-Men decide to, you know what? If we can't get involved, then that's where the original team comes in. We see, I'm not going to spoil which X-Men it was that went back in time to talk to the original five. But let me just say, if you've seen the preview, then you know who it is. But if not, okay. But it was fun. It was not bad, Mr. Bendis, for the first start, for the first issue. Now, as always, as I like to say, the consistency of this book. Because let's say Bendis has a tendency of starting off good, and then he mellows out. Or as I like to call him, as in baseball references, he's a contact hitter. He makes contact, and he brings in runs, but sometimes he can strike out a lot too. And that's my problem with Bendis. But I'm on board with this. I'm not sure I'll get. I don't. I'm not. I think I'm gonna get Uncanny X-Men when they bring the next volume up. But this, I'm on board. I'm looking forward to seeing how the original five look at the future of mutant kind, especially when they come to the present. You know, especially Cyclops, young Cyclops. Because it was funny that Bobby, older Bobby said, man, if younger Cyclops Scott saw older Cyclops, he slapped the crap out of him. And I'm like, I'm looking forward to that. And it seems that Bendis is going to kick that off really fast. By issue 3, we're going to see a confrontation between the two Cyclops. And I'm looking forward to that. Definitely. But very good for the first start. All New X-Men, #1. All right. So we're still counting down, guys. 3 more issues to go to the series finale. The world's greatest superhero of all time, Amazing Spider-Man number 697. This is the conclusion of the Hobgoblins going at it. This is the story arc. Without spoiling too much for you guys, this was a good wrap up in a sense. Um, I don't want to spoil too much for you guys. I really don't, and it's kind of hard to review Spider-Man now because of the fact that it's going to be over, and the fact that it's not going to be Peter Parker, which scares me very much. What I will tell you guys is the fight between the both Hobgoblins was really funny, really good. Um, it was really good to see Harry Osborn in this book. He's bald now, guys. No longer with the traditional Osborn haircut anymore. He's bald and he's in Seattle now with his son. Um, but it just shows you one thing. You could, just because you think you are the new and improved version of a classic villain, you're not. Because Mr. Kingsley here showcases to Mr. Uric, I'm the original, and you better recognize that. And that's all I'm gonna say about it. But it was still good to see. Does Spider-Man able to free himself from all the jammers that Kingpin was putting around the city? I'll spoil that, yes. But it is still a very, very, it's going to be very emotional for me. And trust me, guys, when 700 comes out, you might see some emotion from me. Very much more emotion from me. Very much. Yeah. All right. So kicking back off, back in Marvel now. Um, I I had to play catch up with this book, and the past couple of issues were really fun. They were okay. It was good to see Thanos and the Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was the end of Bendis's stint on the book. But now, Avengers Assemble, number 9. Miss Kelly Sue DeConnick takes over, and Stefano Caselli is the artist on this. Now, I've always wondered if this is supposed to be in cotton with what's going on in Avengers now. It doesn't feel like that. I think it's its own separate story, and that's how I look at it. But in this issue, it seems like Bruce Banner, the Hulk, and Tony Stark have a bet going. It's a bet going on of a race to get to this place in Antarctica that and and a lot of the Avengers like we're not involved in this. No, we're not going to do it. So Hulk decides to have Spider Woman on his team, and Tony has Thor on his team. And after that, it just everything just goes really haywire after that. Uh, this friendly competition became more of a Avengers mission in a sense, and but it was fun. Miss First issue for Miss Kelly Sue was good. I enjoyed it very much. It had me laughing a couple of times. You know, it was funny. I loved how Spider Woman, where she was they're in Antarctica, okay, freezing sub-zero temperatures, and we all know cold doesn't harm Hulk. You know, he's just walking through, and Kelly and Spider Woman's all like, "Oh my God, it's so cold." So what does Hulk do? He just like puts his hand on her head, and she's like, "Oh my God, that feels so good." Like, can we move a little bit faster because Thor and Tony just beating us? You know, because they're flying overhead, and Hulk was like, "All right." He grabs her and he just starts jumping with her. It was really funny. But yeah, I thought it was funny. There were a lot of funny scenes in there that actually had me laughing, um, very much. So not a bad start once again for another beginning with a new creative team. All right, so we move on to Gambit, number 5, LeBeau, Remy LeBeau. Yeah, paying homage to James Bond here, people. Um, James Adams is still doing a very good job with this book, and we got a new artist on this. Not Man, it's Neves. He's on this issue. There's persons on that. But the fact of the matter is, remember how in last issue Gambit stole something from somebody he shouldn't, and he needs to pay that debt to that person he stole it from. His name is Klitsch. Kitsch. Yeah, Kitsch. So Mr. Kitsch is basically like, you're gonna help me steal this stuff from Blink, NASA. And Gambit's like, if I don't, and so Gambit has to do it, or Klitsch is gonna make his life a living hell. And Gambit is Remy. Remy's always thinking ahead. He's trying to figure out how can I get out of this by one up this guy in a sense. But from the get go, it's like Mr. Kitsch has Remy locked. Like every time Remy thinks he has Kitsch figured out, it's not. Um, so it's a race against time in a sense. But Mr. Adams still does a very good job of telling good soul story of the Raging Cajun Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit. And I've still been loving it. But I think that cover is badass. And like I said, I like Terry Dobson's artwork. Um, I know some people that don't like it, but I think it's fine. Very good. All right. So we move on to New Avengers, number 33, and this is the one more issue before this series comes to an end. Bendis' last run. First of all, I'm gonna let you guys know right now, the artwork in this by Deming, I think that's his name. I hated it. It is just, I'm sorry, sir, but your artwork is atrocious to me. I can't stand that. It was ugly. It was just really ugly. It's hard for me to look at. And I know Mike Deodato does the cover art, and I'm like, yo, Mike, where you at in the interior cover? That's who I was looking for, not this guy Deming. And no disrespect, because yeah, you're working for Marvel. I get that, but to me, I couldn't stand your artwork. So the bottom line is simple. Daniel Drum, brother of Brother Voodoo, is he blames the New Avengers for his brother's death, and more importantly, he blames Doctor Strange, and he's causing the New Avengers to fight amongst themselves. He possesses them, tries to do this, hurt them, everything. He's doing this all in the sense of causing Doctor Strange pain. He even killed Damian Hellstrom, son of Satan. He killed him. Yeah, I'm like, whoa, he killed him. Like Damian is basically mummified. Um, but that's pretty much it. But Luke and Jessica were able to get out of the mansion without any harm to their kid and everything like that. But Jessica tells Luke, go back and help our friends. Like, go back, you know. And Luke does that. Now, this does not happen, so don't look at that cover. Jessica Jones does not die. His wife does not die, anything like that. But it comes down to basically Doctor Strange calling out Daniel Drum and be like, let's have a battle, sorcerer to sorcerer, one-on-one to the death. That's how it ends. And we got one more issue to go, and they're saying an Avenger is going to fall. I'm telling you right now, Bendis, if you kill off Luke Cage because he's coming back, because he wants to leave the event, I'm going to be very mad at you. I'm going to be very pissed. Do not kill Luke Cage off. Don't kill it. I don't want anybody to die. I don't want anybody to die. Yeah, not every story has to have somebody die. So I'm hoping that Bendis does not kill off Luke Cage and all. But it was fine. It's just Mr. Deming's artwork. Just I couldn't take it. It was ugly. Okay, and the next Thor, God of Thunder, number 1. Aaron's and Isad Ribic. I hope I'm saying his name right. My friend Dan, Tori GNR, he said, don't sleep on this book. It's right. Don't pass this book up. This was very, very good. I was very impressed at what Mr. Aarons did. it had an old school feel to Thor. Like we see Thor back, way back in 859 BC, and he's telling the story of a little bit of what went happened down there. He fought a frost giant and everything like that, way before he had Mjolnir, his hammer, and then it each story, past story, present, and future, yeah, coincides with what's going on in here. It seems that Thor is being in present. Thor is summoned by these aliens, in a sense, to help him bring like rain to their planet. And when Thor gets there, he's like he helps them, but then he's like he asks them, "Where are your own gods? Where are your gods to help?" And they're like, "We don't have any gods." And Thor's like, "That's preposterous. Like everybody has gods in a sense." And some of the young and elders of the planet say there were stories of gods once before and everything like that. And um, basically, Thor goes on a quest to find these individuals' gods, and that's when he finds what happened, and then everything starts coinciding with what happened in the the in the past, where we saw a god die in fear, like his head just floated, and Thor investigated, and we see these gods, their gods, hanging like they got stabbed, and they're just like hanging like racks of meat. It was just, oh my god, like, and so Thor might know who is responsible for this, and that's where it's kicking up with this 5-part story, first story arc, finding who this God Slayer is, and it's up to Thor, and then it goes also into the future of seeing an older Thor, and I'm not going to spoil too much of that, but very good start from Aaron's for the first issue. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with this, but once again, I don't have too much worries about him taking on Thor, because some people might say, well, I'm a little worried. I read a couple of people's blogs and stuff about it, and they're saying it was good for the first start, but I'm worried because it's the same thing. I'm worried about how he might take Thor, and just how he did with uh what he did with his Incredible Hulk run, is how it started off pretty decent, and then it kind of flattened out, like it flatlined when before it ended. So, but I can understand people's feelings of that. But I think he's going a little bit. He's taking a lot of his own stuff, his own new creativity, and also taking a lot of references and from Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's feel of Thor, which is a good reference in my opinion. So I'm looking forward to seeing what this. But I definitely agree with Tori Giannar on this. Do not sleep on this book. This was really good. The first issue, very good. And Mr. Ribbit, your artwork, good stuff. All right, so we move on to Venom, number 27. This is a Minimum Carnage, number 5. So Cullen Bunn basically kind of shows off the fact that the entities, the like one of the main villain in the microverse, he wants to use the symbiotes and create his own symbiote army and pretty much invade the macroverse, which is, our universe in a sense. And he uses the Venom and Carnage symbiote to like combine together to make these symbiote clones or sense. And it's almost as if Venom and Carnage can control them. However, Carnage is really more in control of them, because Carnage is like, the symbiote that you're wearing, which he's calling Dad, which it is his father, that Flash is wearing. He's like, it's crippled. It's so much. It's not even the real deal anymore, because it's so much. It's juiced up on all these genetics and stuff that keeps it at bay from really consuming Flash and everything like that. But there was a really good fight scene between Flash and Carnage, which was really good. But Carnage is just really ripping on Flash, like you're a wannabe and everything. And he even um, says that about Kane. He's like, you're a wannabe Spider-Man and everything, like and things like that. And Flash realizes that he can't hold back on Carnage. He can't hold back. He has to go all out on him, and that's something to really see from Flash. He has to let himself go to really take on Carnage. Almost got to fight fire with fire, because Carnage is not going to hold back. I can't hold back. Um, but let's just say this, it doesn't look good, especially at the end of the book. Uh, there's one more issue to go. I think that's going to wrap up this story arc. Um, but other than that, I enjoyed it. I thought Cullen Bunn did a very good job on this. Um, yeah. Oops, drop stuff. Sorry. All right, and we ended on Marvel with Wolverine and X-Men. Yeah, look at that. Warren fighting Mystique. Yeah. This is a Wolverine X-Men. This is issue 20. Aaron's. What can I say about Aaron's on this book? Fun, mixture of action, comedy, suspense, you name it. It's just all around good stuff. Marvel, don't let this guy leave this book. So, yeah, if you see the cover, you see Warren and Mystique fighting what looks like Buenos Aires, in Brazil. They are in Brazil. Warren, as you all know, Warren got back control of his company. He got back the company. He fired the board of directors there. He has hired a new board of directors, which are pretty much his former students of the, Jean Grey school. They are taking over, which is funny. Um, but it seems that a lot of stuff that his company is doing now is actually helping the school. Like it's basically helping the school in terms of money wise and everything. So a lot of things are coming out good for the Worthington Industries. But Warren realizes that he has another calling, and he wants to go help all these new mutants that are popping up. And we're introduced to this new mutant. Her name is Iran. I'm not pronouncing it right, but she seems to be like a metamorph. She's able to morph into a were shark, as Warren said she was. We are introduced to her. We see her on board this ship, and she's just chowing down on these fish. And she's like, "I'm sorry, I just got really hungry, and I don't even like fish like that. I don't know why I'm doing this." Then she's like, "You smell that?" And she looks in there, and she's shark fins. That's illegal. And then everything, and we see her kind of transform a little bit. She gets like fins on her hands, like they become like, like able for her to swim. Her eyes become like that black, jet black that we see sharks have, and her teeth. And then later on, we see her really rip into this guy. Um, and that's pretty much where Warren comes in and starts to tell her what she is and everything like that. And at first, as usual, which is classic. This was just classic stuff. Usually the mutants, like the new mutants, like, I don't want to go with you and everything. And then lo and behold, we have Mystique come in along with the new Silver Samurai, his son, and they're telling him, come with us and everything like that. And Warren is battling the Silver Samurai, and we're starting to see a little bit of these new powers that Warren has. He's able to make like light swords and things like that, and it was really cool. I love to see where um, Mystique is dealing with her, and she's like, "We're not asking you to come with us." And so the shark goes, "Okay," turns into what sharks all out and bites Mystique like to almost head first. Like half of Mystique's whole upper body is in her mouth, and Mystique is able to like morph, shapeshift her finger into like a dagger so she can stick her so she can let go. And then she's like, I got blood in my mouth. Your blood. I like it." And she just charges at Mystique, and it's like So Warren has to intervene to help, and yeah, him and the Silver Samurai like, you sure you want to just sit this out and just watch this? And he's like, oh wait a minute, here, hold my sword, for example, hold my sword, and and it just shocks him, and it was funny. So Warren has to take her away, and he flies away with her in a sense. Does Warren get her back to the school? I'm not going to spoil that. Does she become a new student? Won't spoil that. And I don't want to spoil the ending of what happened, especially with one of the members, Kilgrave of the Kilgore of the new Hellfire Club. But there was some homage paid for uh, Mr. Aarons in this book, which was really funny at the end. But this was still very good. It spotlighted on Warren and what he can do, what his new abilities are, and everything like that, and what he feels his purpose is now, and that's cool. I didn't mind it at all. Wolverine and X-Men #20, good stuff, and it was good to see Mystique too. It was good to see him. So uh, we end this on DC, and we'll kick it off with none other than Batgirl #14, Gail Simone. I'm a fanboy, sorry, but I gotta tip my head. And Ed Ben's one of my favorite artists, does a good job. This is Batgirl's introduction into the death of the family. And, oh my God, poor Babs. I don't want to spoil a lot for you, but let's just say there are a lot of factors in this. One thing I will spoil. Her mom gets kidnapped, held captive by, she is getting input by somebody she thinks is the Joker. She thinks it's the Joker. She thinks the Joker has found out who her identity, and we find out who is really giving intel to her. Not gonna spoil who that was, but it's to come up later in Batgirl. But this was good. Gail Simone just does a fantastic job of suspense, drama, and action. Barbara is pissed. She is mad. She's angry, and she wants to hurt the Joker, and not just hurt him. She wants literally to do what he did to her, nearly cripple her. And she is not. And she literally says it. I found my mother. I just found my mother again. I am not gonna lose her now, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just get this. Get this. If you are on board with Batgirl, you know what I'm talking about. This was just fantastic. Gail Simone, my lady, just keep up the good work. Excellent job. And we move on to Batman #14, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, doing a good job. This is, once again, all in of Death in the Family. And Joker, man, Joker is like playing a game of chess with Batman. And you know what? He's winning. He is winning. He's definitely winning. He gets to, what he does to Jim Gordon in this, oh, God, just messed up. He's like almost one step ahead of Batman at every corner. Just when you think Batman may be stepping ahead, Joker's like one step. And basically, I don't want to spoil too much for you guys with this. I'm sorry. Don't want to spoil too much, but just literally pick up the book. What I will spoil is Alfred. Joker has Alfred. He has Alfred. Now, right there, I was thinking, okay, does Joker know who Batman is? But no, he doesn't. But the one thing Joker has let Batman know right from the get-go, everybody that is in league with you is going to feel my wrath, and you're all going to fall. I was like, whoa, I got to give, yeah, Joker is not playing games now. It's like, He's playing for keeps, and it's really scary to see him be this calculative and being one step ahead of Batman. Not bad. Scott Snyder, keep up the good work, sir. And if you thought that was good, let me tell you about this book. Green Lantern Corps, number 14. Rise of the Third Army. I'm not sure what part of this is, but Peter Tomasi, poor guy. My God. Those blue-faced bastards, the Guardians. Once again, I just want to just choke them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, they set their trap for Guy. And once again, we're seeing this Third Army just rip through the Corps members, just ripping through them. And they tried to get... Now, the Guardians... Now, here's what also is making it... The Guardians can see what their Third Army can see, so they can see through their eyes. And it's just like... And I'm reading this, and I'm like, look at these fuckers, man. Like, somebody kill them. I'm hoping these guys die. Because what happens to Guy in this is just so sad. Don't want to spoil what happens to him, but it's not good. It is not good at all. And I fear for Guy now. I really do. I fear for him a lot. And I don't want to spoil a lot. There are some of these books. I'm sorry I'm not spoiling a lot for the DC books, guys, because they were really good. But this was really good. Peter Tomasi does a very good job on it. But you really, if you are not a Guy Gardner fan, no matter what, you're going to feel sorry for him. You really are. You're going to be like, oh man, I may not be much of a Guy Gardner fan, but I feel for him. I really do. And I'm hoping things get brighter for him. And it looks like it's not going to look that bright for John as well, because John Stewart, because once again they're throwing him under the fire again. Yeah, this guy, I'm sorry for Guy. I feel so sorry for him, and all because of those blue-faced bastards. All right. Still counting down to the end of Grifter. I'm gonna see it through to the end, as I always do, guys. I'm a fan of Cold Cash, no matter what. All right, so issue number 14. Once again, what happened in the last issue? We saw Grifter go up to Stormwatch headquarters to get some information and try to see what's going on with the Daemonites, and he left a present for them. However, what he thought he got away scot-free, he didn't. Midnighter comes after him. Once again, we get another fight between him and Midnighter. However, this time around, Midnighter's not kicking the crap out of him this time, because Cole is able to because now Cole's able to tap into his psychic abilities, in a sense. He's able to stay one step ahead of Midnighter. And he's kind of making Midnighter look like a fool. I'm like, whoa, that's interesting. And that's pretty much it. It's just a overall fight, and since they're teleporting all over the world, because the virus that he left in Stormwatch headquarters and used their teleporter is having an effect on them. So he's bouncing all over the world, deserts, Tokyo, you name it. And the last place he ends up is in he's back with Amanda Waller. So the next issue is Grifter versus Suicide Squad, in a sense. Um, but yeah, that's about it. Yeah, it was really weird seeing Cole make a fool out of Midnighter. In terms of combat, I'm talking about. All right. He-Man, the Masters of the Universe, number 4. This is one more issue to go for this miniseries. Keith Giffen takes still writing, and Pop Mahan, I believe that's his name. He's basically doing the writing on this. He's the artwork on this. So Adam and Tila are shipwrecked after the last issue, and they found land. They go to this island, and unfortunately, they're captured by what looks like the natives. When we get a look at one of the natives, we know it's Tila's dad, Man at Arms. And Man at Arms, once again, remember, everybody doesn't remember who they are. Man at Arms doesn't know, so he's in leagues with Evil Lynn. She like rules all these guys, and it was really fun to see Evil Lynn as always, you know. And Man at Arms is looking at Tila like, I know you, like I've seen you in my dreams, woman. Like I've seen you, you know, things like that. Woman, what kind of enchantress? Sorry, that's what he calls her. And he's like, and Tila then even comes back and says, "Are you my father?" And Adam's like, "Your father?" Like once again, nobody has memory of who they are. So it's something that Skeletor did. Um, and we see Skeletor talking to Hordak and things like that, and it was really good. Skeletor talking about, I can't really tell Evil Lynn what to do because her powers nearly rival my own and things like that. So I'll just let her be, let her do what she wants to do with Tila and Prince Adam and things like that. But it was fun. It ended with Tila and Adam fighting in this arena as entertainment for Evil Lynn, and pretty much it looks like Adam maybe falling to his doom in a sense. But yeah, it was still good. Once again, guys, you know, this He-Man is one of my childhood memories and heroes. So you know, yeah, I was into He-Man before I was into Spider-Man. Yeah, so it's a special place in my heart with He-Man. Childhood '80s, guys. Sorry. All right, and last but not least, the last book, Ravagers, #6. Howard Mankey and Ian Churchill's artwork still good. Kyle Kirkham actually helps out, I think, on this book as well. Superboy takes command. In a sense, he does. So we see the the gang practicing a little bit in like what is supposed to be almost like their version of the danger room in a sense. And the person that is helping them is also talking to Red Robin as well about them. Um, and they're still trying to figure out how a lot of their powers are working and how they're able to tap into them, especially Beast Boy and everything like that. Beast Boy, Thunder, no, Terra, and they're still really confused of Ridge, like how is he able to do this? However, Fairchild is like, you know, telling, I'm forgetting this guy, Rich, I'm forgetting his name, the one that brought help is helping him out. He's like, you're pushing them too hard, and he's like, that you're looking at them as being some kind of nursemaid. You're nursing them, and things like that. And it's really interesting. But the team goes on their first mission to make sure Nowhere and all of them doesn't, and Harvest doesn't get another kid and turn them into like they tried to do with them. And it was really good. But it was, we got to see them have some R&R time, like they were out on Venice Beach, because they're in California, so they're in Venice Beach and they're just walking around, trying to. And Fairchild's like, go out and have some fun, and they're like, what's fun? Like, we never were able to do that and things like that. Now you're probably saying, okay, Ridge is out there in public, a big walking lizard man. Somehow they're able to, like, they got like image inducers that make them look like they're not who they are. People don't see them as that; they just see them as kids and stuff, you know, just people just walking around, tourists in a sense. But that was really interesting to see. But we see their first mission kind of goes where they have to battle two of their former Ravagers that they left with in the first issue. They got recaptured by Warblade and Ravager, Rose Wilson. And that's where we end the book, where it looks like we're going to have a battle between Warblade. Once again, I'm going to say it again. He looks his his look in this is so ugly. I hate his look. And of course, Rose Wilson. Um, but other than that, it was good. Not bad at all. Um, not bad at all. Ravagers #6. Okay, so that is it, guys. That is all the books I have for this week. I will see you guys next week, as well as Mr. Orpheus will be back next week. Now, next week, it will definitely be a giant size edition. I'm telling you right now. I have a lot on my pull list for next week, and that's going to be a big one. And that was kind of the reason why Mr. Orpheus was like, I'll wait for the big one. So if you see, the title may not just be the Mama Kid, the Kids comic review. It might be the Kids giant size review. Yeah, I'm taking that advice for, I forget who actually said that, use it. But other than that, I will see you guys next week. As always, God willing. And this is my Wolverine Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep real, guys. As always, to my fellow comic readers, keep reading, and peace.